Let's explore table calculations and level-aware aggregations in QuickSight. I'll begin by clicking on the visualization type Pivot Table. I'll then select Destination Region, Destination State, and Flights. I'll also drag 3 additional instances of flights on the view. For the second instance of flights on the Values well, I'll select Add Table Calculation, % of total. I'll do the same thing for the third instance. And for the fourth instance, I'll select Add Table Calculation Rank. Our initial view shows 100% for every state, and that's because we are calculating across the table. So every state is 100% of itself, and every state is ranked number 1 when compared to itself. Let's change to the Calculate As. So for the second instance of flights, I'll select Calculate As and choose Group Down. Actually, let's change that one to Table Down, and then select the third instance and choose Calculate as Group Down. And then for the fourth instance, I'll select Calculate as Table Down. And so what we're looking at is the percentage overall, the percentage per region, and the rank overall. For example, let's consider Illinois. Illinois makes up 5.3% of all flights. Illinois makes up 17.12% of all flights within the central region. Illinois is ranked 5th over all states. Now, I'm going to click on the drop-down for the Table Calc tab and select to duplicate. And let's rename this duplicate LAA for Level Aware Aggregation. I'm going to change the visualization type to Table. And note that my table calculations have disappeared. The numbers are simply reflecting the total number of flights right now. If I click on the menus associated with each instance of flight on the Values well, I'm going to see there is no table calculation option because table calculations don't exist for the table visualization type. In fact, they don't exist for any visualization type except for pivot tables. What can we do about this? Well, LAAs to the rescue. Let's create a calculated field. The first calculated field that I'll create we'll call Flights Overall Total. Let's give it a calculation of sum over sum flights, and notice this double bracket with nothing inside of it. That means there is no partitioning happening. In other words, we are summing up the total of all flights across the entire table. When I place flights over total on the view, notice that I get 28 million for every row that's displaying because that's the total number of flights across the entire table. Let's do something similar. I'll create a calculated field. I'll name the calculation Flights Region Total. And let's create the calculated field Sum over Sum Flights. Now we are partitioning. That is, we are partitioning by destination region. I'll click on Save, and I'll take the Flights Region Total and put it on the view. And notice that the numbers that we're looking at reflect the totals of flights for that particular region. For instance, the central region is 8.7 million flights. The other region is 850,000. The west region is just over 8 million flights, and so forth. At this point, you probably have some idea about how we're going to calculate those percentages. Let's go ahead and do it. I'll name this calculation Flights Percentage Overall, and I'll enter the calculation Sum of Flights divided by Flights Overall Total. We'll click Save. We'll create another calculated field. This one we'll call Flight Percentage Per Region, and let's enter the calculation Sum Flights divided by Flights Region Total. I'll click on Save. For both of these calculations that I just created, I'm going to set the Show As to percentage. And now let's place both of these on the view and notice the percentages that we get. Let's take a look at Illinois. 5.3% of overall flights, 17.12% of flights within the central region, And that reflects the numbers that we were just looking at within the table calculation view. Let's take care of rank now. And let's enter the calculation rank some flights descending. No partition is listed here because I just want to go down the entire table, though it is possible that I could put a partition here. I'll save this, and I'll place rank on the view. Let's do a little bit of cleanup here. And now we can see that Illinois is 5th over all states. So, whether we're using a pivot table, and thus using table calculations, or we're using some other visualization, which could be a table or any one of the other visualizations here, we have a way to get the same values, whether we're going to use LAAs, that is level aware aggregations, or table calculations.